What's happening, everybody? How you doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. I'm going to talk to you today about propaganda. Propaganda. Going to talk about who owns what, how much of it they own, how much control they have over everything. And propaganda has been around forever. I mean, everybody does it. It goes all the way back to the beginning of mankind. I mean, it's not documented, but I'm sure it's there. But a lot of it has been documented in later years, and like even before the Common Era, a lot of people would go out there and they'd tell the people, they'd put people out there and say, go tell them this, go tell them that, and the people would believe it. And instead of going and trying to maybe fact check it and find out what's going on, they'd be like, yeah, the Greeks really are against us, or the Sumerians really did say that, or because that's what they were told. And it was a little harder back then because it was word of mouth, and they'd have to ride on a horse or a donkey to get somewhere. Where now, it's instantaneous. It's instant. I mean, somebody can text you something on your phone in 30 seconds, and they'll say, Japan has banned all Muslims. You can't do this and that. And then there'll be people that are either happy about it or outraged about it, when in reality, if you were to take maybe 2-3 minutes, you'd find out that that's not true. And that's how easy it is to brainwash. And that's what it is. That's what propaganda is. It's brainwashing. And it doesn't take long to find out truth. But apparently for some people, it does. Because they don't want the truth. People already have their minds made up on what they believe in, whether it's right or wrong. Because that's what most people are taught, just like in the public school systems. They're not going to teach you all of the real history. They put certain people on pedestals and say, this guy's great, he did this or that. But then if you look at that guy, and when the kid's closer to July 4th, I'm going to be talking about some of these people that we have on pedestals in the United States. But when you look at that guy, you're going to be like, wow, he was not a very good dude. He did a lot of bad things. They won't tell you that. They don't want you to know that. And then you have your social media. And I see this all the time. Somebody will make a post, and there'll be thousands of likes on it, thousands of comments going off on it. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, and I know right away. It's like, that's not true. That's not true. And I'll brag a little bit. I'm a lot smarter than a lot of people are out there. I see the brainwashing of these people so easily. It's sad, actually. I feel bad for them. And I don't want to say that they're ignorant. But I'd rather say they're ignorant, but most of them are stupid. I'm going to come right out and say it. Most of the people that are brainwashed are stupid. And some of them might be listening to me right now going, that's not very nice. Well, no, it's true, though. Because I know people that never voted a day in their life until, say, Trump came around, and then all of a sudden they liked him. Well, why did they like him so much? Why? Because he said things that they agree with, and he basically spoke his mind, and maybe they liked that. But what about these other presidents before them? Why didn't you get on board then? I know people that never have voted in a local election. And those are some of the most important ones in the United States there is, and in the rest of the world. Anybody that does that is, I think, kind of stupid. But you'll go and you'll vote for president. And you don't even realize these guys got power, but there's always somebody above them. Somebody that you don't know. And there's all these people out there controlling the masses, giving money. And if you don't do what they say, what's going to happen? They'll cut off your money. They'll cut off your supply. And everybody needs that supply, So if you go against the grain, you're not going to get backed by these people. You're not going to get funded. If you don't do what they tell you to do, they're not going to come at you. they're going to be like, yeah, we don't want anything to do with you anymore, man. You're nothing to us. And that's how it goes. And I would tell you right now, it's 2026 as I'm speaking. I have never seen people so stupid and brainwashed in my life. I've never seen it this bad. And it's easier than ever. And the United States has been using propaganda forever. They've been doing it for a long time. And it's easier than ever now, like I said, with social media. Now, back in the day, you had newspapers. After the word of mouth, they started printing newspapers and magazines. And they would have articles and things like that written by just regular old people. And people would sit there and go, well, it has to be true because he's famous. I'll tell you this. I say this all the time. Just because somebody's rich, just because somebody's famous, does not make them smart. People, you guys need to realize this. Just because somebody's got 1 million followers on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now, doesn't mean that they're smart. You got people like Candace Owens out there and what's his name? Carson Mother Tucker. I mean, they're just spreading all kinds of hate and blood libels. And, well, they got this many followers and they make a lot of money, so they must be right. Why? Why are they right? No, they're part of the puppet scene. The people that are right are the people like me, the people that have to come behind the scenes and tell the truth. Well, you don't have millions of dollars. You don't have millions of followers. You don't have all this financial backing. You're right, I don't, because I'm not a freaking sellout puppet. I'm not a puppet. I'm not a shill. I'm not a schlump. I don't sell out. I tell the truth. I am a middle-of-the-road person. I don't vote for political parties. I vote for people, and I research everybody I'm voting for. You know, because the littlest thing could mean a lot. Y'all don't realize this. But the propaganda is just getting worse. Like I said, it's so easy. Now, in 1948, the United States, after World War II, passed the Schmidt-Mundt Act. And that prohibited the United States government and any government-funded agency from putting out what they deemed propaganda to the American citizens. And that basically said you can't put all these lies out there to people. You can't talk about because of what happened in World War II. You can't sit there and you couldn't go for that. Now, private companies could. But if you were getting any money from the government in any way, shape, or form, it wasn't going to happen. And in World War II, before World War II, when the Nazis took over, the Nazis showed how easy it was to control the masses and the minds of people. They had people hating everybody because they put it out there. They put it out there. They would have fake things that would go on. They would go and kill people and then say, well, what happened was these guys did this, so we had to step in and we had to kick their butts. That's not what happened, people. That's not what happened at all. And people believed it, just like they do today. There are people that don't believe 9/11 even happened. They said, I saw the planes fly into those buildings. But they'll say, planes never flew in there. What? Everybody saw it. There were people right on the scene. The cameras were right there. You know, we had cell phones with cameras on them and stuff like that. Plus, you know, there's security cameras and stuff. And then you go deeper and they say, well, this has happened. This happened. We all know what happened on 9/11. It was a Muslim terrorist attack. Did the towers go down a little easier? Did anybody not think that there was stuff going on that maybe they put stuff in there? In 93, they parked a vehicle in there and tried to blow it up. It killed a few people. Who's to say they didn't try it 8 years later? Now, here's the deal in 93. If they'd parked that vehicle about 6 more places to the right, it would have took the whole building down. They were just a little off. They couldn't get a parking spot there. But you know what? They tried again 8 years later, and there's people out there that say it never happened. There's people out there that believe JFK. JFK never, that wasn't real. He got away. Afterwards, him and his wife went and lived somewhere in Mexico. I'm like, what? The man got his brains blew out in front of everybody. But there's people out there They don't want to admit the truth, and they want to deny everything. They think they're smarter than everybody and they're more informed than everybody. I got news for you. They're not. Some of these people have never researched anything. They've never been to these places. They've never talked to anybody that was there. I have. Every place I talk about, I've been there. I've been to the trade centers. I've been to where JFK got shot. I've been to where I stood in the spot where Medgar Evers got shot. That was a horrific event. Now, a lot of you listening and a lot of people in America don't even know who that is. You don't even know who Medgar Evers is. For the record, he was a big fighter in the civil rights movement. Very good man. Cared about America, he served in the military, a war hero, World War II, buried in Arlington, got shot just for being a black man sticking up for blacks wanting equality. What is the problem with that? Someone wants equality? Okay, I got no problem with that. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race you are, what religion you are. I don't care what sports team you like or don't like. I'm not going to hate somebody over something stupid like that. But the propaganda in America and the propaganda machine teaches people to do that. They teach you to hate, the Yankees. It's like, I'm not a Yankees fan, but if I see someone wearing an NY on their hat, cool, whatever, dude. I usually ask them, are you from New York? No, I'm just a Yankees fan. Okay, cool. All right, to each their own, man. But there are people out there that will start yelling at them, treating them like dirt, just because they're different. And that's what they want. That's what the people at the top and the propaganda machine wants. They want everybody to fight one another. They want everybody to hate one another. That way they've got total control of everything. And you don't see all the evil that they're doing in this world. They're controlling the masses. And, masses is just the word asses with an M, because many of the people they're controlling are nothing but asses. And by that, I mean donkeys. Because you're following along just like a donkey would in most cases. Some donkeys are pretty stubborn, pretty tough. But, the asses of the masses got no classes. Most of them don't know anything, man. Like I said, and you've got people getting promoted in jobs. Some of the worst people in the world that are stupid, can barely spell their names, and now they're telling people how to do a job they couldn't even do. And it's like, what? You got people in politics that are nothing but puppets. They are so stupid. And a lot of them got there, and a lot of people don't like when I say this, but a lot of them got there for being on their knees or on their back. That's just the way it is, and that's the truth, and I'll tell the truth, because that's what I'm all about, is telling you the truth. I don't know if y'all saw AOC speaking to a group of Muslims the other day, and it was all men. And while she's speaking, the men showed her no respect for a woman. They're all talking. They're all doing their thing. Nobody was really paying attention to her. She's out there wearing a hijab, and she's got the kifi on and everything else, and, she's sucking up to them. And my first thought was, that's pretty rude of them to treat her like that. I don't like her, but you should show respect. But they didn't. And then she's going to stick up for them. And then my second thought was, how come I never see her going to any Jewish events? I never see her speaking in front of any Jewish people. I wonder why. Who is she catering to and why? Why? Why are you catering to them? Because from what I understand, Jews control everything. That's what I hear every day. 15 million Jews in the world control 8.1 billion people. Now let me talk to you about that. 15 million Jews, and out of them, let's say half of them. Now, Judaism is an ethno-religion. It's an ethnicity and a religion. So you can have a Jewish bloodline and be a full-blooded Jewish person and not practice Judaism. And you might not stick up for Israel or anything else because of that. So you could be like George Soros. He's a Jew, but he's a capo, he's a Nazi. And what he did with the Nazis is horrific. Freaking nice. Anyway, he's a schmuck. I don't like him, And I'll tell the truth on that. I know what he did. He said it was the best time of his life, selling out his own people to go to death camps. What a schmuck. Hey, Paskudnik. Anyway, man, but there's a lot of people out there like him. He's Jewish. He's one of the 15 million, but he doesn't practice or anything. So he doesn't really count. So let's say half of the people, let's even go high and say 10 million. 10 million Jews control 8 billion people in this world? I don't think so, people. I don't think so. But the propaganda machine tells you that. And it tells you that the Red Cross said only a couple 100,000 Jews died in the Holocaust. And people believe it because they want to believe it, even though it's not even close to being true. The Red Cross didn't care. Where were they during the Holocaust? They were helping the Nazis. They were. Look it up. Anyway, but that's where the propaganda comes from. And they try to turn people against everybody. They try to turn people against the Jews for some reason. They've always tried to do that. The blood libels have gone on for thousands of years. The pogroms have happened. As a matter of fact, tomorrow's the anniversary of a pogrom in Iraq. That didn't go too well. For no reason. They just killed all the Jews. And it was during World War II. I think it was 41 or 42 when that happened. And Hitler got along with those people. He liked them. They wouldn't fit in the master race, but close enough because you hate Jews. And that's where the propaganda machine goes. The Nazis were very good with their propaganda. They turned a whole nation against other people. And they had nothing but lies. And then when they started getting radio, it was a lot easier because it could reach everybody. Because not everybody could read and not everybody got the newspapers and magazines. But when the radio came out, oh, baby, almost everybody had a radio. TV wasn't around for a while, but when that came out, it got even worse, even though there was just a couple channels. And it's been the easiest thing in the world to tell somebody something. And they could, I hear it all the time. They'll say, it's going to rain today. It'll be 90 degrees out and sunny. It's like, but people will be walking around with umbrellas. Are they being prepared? Or are they just puppets and they believe everything they hear? Me, I look out the window, look online, and it's like, oh, okay. So I can think for myself. A lot of people can't do that anymore. And there are so many people that are brainwashed. They go after someone because they're a Republican. And I see the hatred. Well, I don't like Republicans. Okay. Or I don't like Democrats. Okay. You know, or they'll call them liberals, and they're not real liberals. I've talked to you about that before, what a real liberal is. They're not real liberals, people. But I'll tell you what's going down. The propaganda machine is running the show. They want everybody turning against each other. They want you all to hate one another. Instead of us all loving one another and being united, because, we do live in the United States of America. Instead of wanting to be united, they want us to be divided. That's where the old adage comes from. United we stand, divided we fall. We have fallen so many times in this country and in this world. I'm not going to dislike somebody because they're from Sweden or Japan or Germany or something. Why would I be like that? Now, if you're from one of those countries and you're a jerk, well, I don't like you as a person. It's not your country unless you're reflecting it, and then I'm going to be like this. Well, I don't think everybody there's like them. You know? They could be holding a German flag and just being a Nazi, and I'm like, that's just one person. It's not all of Germany. Just like the United States, we're looked down upon. People hate us because of some of the things we do. And there are a lot of things that I don't like that we do, and I don't blame them for hating us. You know, we do a lot of stupid stuff. We do want the world to. Everybody's got to be like us. Listen to us. We're the world's powerhouse. Doesn't work that way, man. But they go over there and they say, well, the United States did this. The United States did that. And people believe it. People will get their news sources from Al Jazeera. And I'm like, y'all know what Al Jazeera is. It's owned by the country of Qatar. They tell them what to print. They tell them what to say. It doesn't have to be true, but stupid people will believe it. And that's the problem with the world today. And I'll be honest with you. Everybody is so stupid. I have a hard time dealing with people sometimes because there are so many stupid people out there. And people, we got to wake up and be done with this, man. Don't fall for the propaganda. Don't fall for all the lies and stuff. They have an agenda, and they want to fulfill that agenda. They tell you on TV, buy this, buy that, and you buy it because you see it on TV and it looks like the best chicken dinner in the world. You go look at it, it's like, this is crap. You're not telling you the truth. You're not getting the truth. You're not getting the real deal, man. They're controlling the masses, and it's never been easier than ever. Now, I talked about the Schmidt-Mundt Act in 1948. Well, guess what? In 2012, under a certain president, you know who I'm talking about, they updated it. They changed it. It's okay now. It's okay to put propaganda out there through the U.S. government funded. And by propaganda, I wasn't talking about the American military saying, be all you can be and having a nice video of how great the Army is and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them telling you that the America's doing this, the country's doing this, we're doing this, the government's doing that, and somebody's paying them to do it from the government. Well, now it's been changed, and they can do that. Now they can lie through their teeth, and the government can pay them for it. We have to stop doing this, people. We have to wake up. Open your eyes and start to learn to think for yourself. And there are people like me and others out there that are trying to help you guys. We're trying to open your eyes, man. We're bringing you to the big screen. Open your eyes and listen. I look at 1984, a book. Most people have never heard of it. And if they have, they've never read it. Or they saw the movie and the movie sucks. I mean, it's all right, but it's not as good as the book. The book is great. Animal Farm, another Orwellian thing. That's pretty good, man. It was talking about what's going to happen. And the thing Orwell said is, don't let it happen. Because you're going to get stuck with a boot on your neck. You're going to get stuck with total control from somebody up above, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, I know you guys can go to your jobs every day, go to your fancy homes at night, and on the weekends, go to your cottages or places on the lakes or get away, or you can take your vacation to some other country. I always laugh at these people when they go they say they're in Mexico. Well, you might be in Mexico, but you better not leave that resort. Because that's not real Mexico. You go to real Mexico, and it's sad. I'm not being mean, but you got to hide your money in your shoes, man. It's tough down there. I feel for them. I've been down there. It's not easy, and it's gotten worse. I feel for them. I pray for them. I hope nothing but the best for them, man. But you know what? You got all these people out there. All they care about is themselves, material possessions. They could care less about you or me. And that's just like the people at the top. That's all they care about is themselves. So let's not let the propaganda machine, let's not let that happen. Everybody wake up, all right? It doesn't need to be this way. I wish everybody peace, love, happiness, and intelligence. That's what we need. All right, man. Tune in again real soon because I'm going to open up your eyes even more to who controls the propaganda, where that money's coming from. All right, listen up to the real deal. I'll be back. Keep listening. I appreciate y'all. Peace.